Hello, people of the internet, my name is Johnny, welcome back to yet another FNaF news video. And we've got a lot to talk about. Hex has finally released their much anticipated Funtime plushies. Youtooz is teasing their upcoming FNaF 4 figures and they look incredible. And Scott Cawthon's FNaF World website has officially shut down. What that means and so much more we're going to be talking about in today's video. So if you're excited for all the FNaF news going on, scroll down, tickle that subscribe button. And for our first piece of news, we got a very quick post from Steelwell Studios, posted on the 14th of February, so of course they're celebrating Valentine's Day. And you got Jackie here saying, "I've got a big hug for you." This is of course perfect timing. A few days prior, we finally got the gameplay trailer for Secret of the Mimic, which revealed the game will be releasing on the 13th of June, so only a couple months away now. And if you want more info on the brand new trailer, as well as general information regarding the upcoming game, I just did a full breakdown video. I'll leave that link down below in case you missed it. And now let's move on to some merchandise news. First up, got a brand new company acquiring the FNaF license, and that company is EXG Pro, the creators of the cable guy device holders. I know for a fact I see their Sonic holder all the time in stores. You may recognize a few other characters that they've made into holders. And recently they showed off a very early prototype for their Freddy Fazbear device holder. And actually, editing JonnyBlox here to say that we got an even better look at the upcoming cable guys for FNaF, because a few days ago was the New York Toy Fair, and as you can see here, we got a full-scale prototype of the Freddy Fazbear device holder. And also on the wall of the booth, we can also see what appears to be maybe a more final version of what they're going for with the figure. I've seen a lot of FNaF fans say that it is really funny, but also really awesome at the same time, that a device holder is one of the best looking figures we've ever gotten for Freddy. However, Freddy is not the only FNaF character getting device holders. As you can see here, we also have Chica and Bonnie, with a 3D prototype of Chica on display, and it looks like Bonnie is still in the concept art stages. Once again, these figures look spot on, super incredible to see how accurate they look to the characters. And hopefully Foxy as well as other FNaF characters are on the way. I'd love to know what are your thoughts on these device holders so far. And on the topic of licenses, PhatMojo revealed their upcoming plans for 2025 FNaF merchandise, claiming that they plan to release an extended range of FNaF products, including collectible bundles and construction sets. Stuff like their bundles we've seen in the past with the animatronic Freddy head. That was a pretty cool product, so I'm excited to hear that they're going to keep doing bundles. But the construction sets is especially interesting because you may remember McFarlane used to make a lot of FNaF construction sets, though seemingly they lost the license a few years ago. And ever since then, FNaF fans have really wanted another company to make construction sets for FNaF, and it looks like PhatMojo is going to be taking the deal. I'll have some videos of what PhatMojo's construction sets do look like, so I'd love to know, do you think this is a step up or a step down from what we had in the past with McFarlane? Popping in once again, as you've likely seen by now, we have gotten our first look at one of PhatMojo's FNaF construction sets with Roxanne. And since my last video a few days ago talking about that, FNaF fans have also found other construction sets featuring the same charging stations, though this time different Glamrock animatronics like Freddy and Chica and Monty. So it seems that those are the first few construction sets that PhatMojo will be releasing. A little underwhelming in terms of a lineup. The same charging station setup, though just with different characters and different stickers. Luckily, it looks like there's at least one big set releasing for PhatMojo, which I think looks spot on, and that is a 454-piece set featuring the Glamrocks on the show stage. Sets like this are what I'm talking about, and I really hope PhatMojo makes more interesting, more elaborate sets like this one. But I'd love to know, what are your thoughts so far on PhatMojo's FNaF construction sets? And now we can't talk about FNaF merch without bringing up Funko, because they've revealed a few brand new products. First up is this brand new Biddy Pop of Toy Freddy that comes inside an arcade machine display, and this looks incredible. A very cute way to display the brand new Biddy Pop of Toy Freddy. And recently, CultureFly also released some brand new small FNaF figures. They come inside mystery packets that look like Freddy Fazbear pizza boxes. And you got a whole bunch of characters, some rare figures as well, of Circus Baby, Golden Freddy, and then a glow-in-the-dark Springtrap. And lastly, for Funko merch, we got a brand new Biddy Pop Deluxe featuring Blacklight Freddy. And this guy is a very small figure that for some reason comes inside a very large box. But before we move on from Funko, we got some Funko Fusion game news. First up, Blacklight skins for Freddy and Foxy have been added to the game, and multiplayer has officially been added to the FNaF level inside Funko Fusion. So if you've been waiting to hop into the game with friends, now is the perfect time to do so. And we've also heard from Scarlet Joker, a very reliable Funko insider and leaker here in the community, that a Funko Pop based on Freddy Fazbear's zombie skin from Funko Fusion is reportedly releasing this summer. And now let's move on to Dawko's Hex brand, because they have finally released the Funtime plushies, with a second wave of sister location products including plushies of Funtime Freddy, Ballora, Baby, and Funtime Foxy. Pins of each characters have also been released, including a pin of Ennard, and these pins are able to open up the faceplates to expose their endoskeleton skulls. And speaking of Ennard, you may remember that a special Ennard wave is planned for Hex, and that's going to include a whole bunch of products. An Ennard pin is plushie, a t-shirt, as well as this brand new hoodie with art by Snartles. And just like the Springtrap hoodie where his art was on the back, for Ennard, this incredible art is going to be on the back of the hoodie, and then an embroidered illustration of Ennard's face will be on the front. And then for some more upcoming Hex news, we of course have their FNaF movie wave, where we've gotten a brand new look at the Mr. Cupcake plushie, featuring a light up candle and a mouth that you can open. And then we also got our very first look at the prototype yellow rabbit plushie. This was auctioned off on one of Dawko's recent charity streams, and much like all of the other prototype Hex plushies, this guy looks a little bit goofy, though Dawko has listed off a whole bunch of changes to improve the plushie, so I can't wait to see what the final one looks like. And on that same stream, Dawko also showed off a better look at the upcoming Bonnie backpack. Speaking of prototypes, he also showed off a prototype of the backpack, though on the inside you can see what the inside of the backpack will look like. A whole bunch of wires and red glowing eyes. Actually looks a lot like Withered Bonnie, so that's a very nice detail. I can't wait for this backpack to be released because it gets cooler and cooler every time we see it. And then finally, for Hex news, Dawko did confirm that a Mimic plushie is officially in the works. Though if you don't want to wait too long for the Hex Mimic plushie, may I suggest the Youtooz Mimic plushie. Moving right along to Youtooz, clean segue here, they have finally revealed the first look at their Mimic plushie, releasing very soon. Previously, we saw some concept art for the plushie, though this is our first look at their physical design. And I think the main reaction I'm seeing is a lot of FNaF fan thinks he looks a little bit goofy, though I also think that goofiness adds to his charm. So I'd love to know, what are your thoughts on the Youtooz Mimic plushie? But what is the next fully fledged Youtooz FNaF wave, you may be wondering? Well, that is going to be Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Previously, Youtooz showed off some concept art for a Nightmare Freddy figure, and we had Austin from Youtooz reveal that this FNaF 4 wave is planned to be released around May. But of course, you can't just have one figure in the wave, so what other FNaF 4 characters are included? Well, you'll be very happy to know that Youtooz has officially revealed that Nightmare Foxy and Nightmare Fredbear will be included. I've seen a lot of people happy by the character picks so far, especially for Nightmare Fredbear. He doesn't get a whole lot of merch. I'm sure there's still a few more characters included in this wave, so FNaF 4 fans, I'd love to know which character you're hoping to see get a figure. And then lastly, for Youtooz, the brand new POPGOES Beach Pins and Spinning Eye POPGOES pin have been released, and these will be available until the 18th of March, so you got a while to pick them up. And speaking of POPGOES here, you may have seen by now, but myPOPGOES New and Improved is officially out now, with this reprogrammed version of the game featuring bug fixes, optimizations, new features, and Steam items. We played it here on the channel right before the brand new trailer for Secret of the Mimic. It was a pretty fun time. Though the big thing people are waiting for is POPGOES Evergreen, and Kane Carter showed off some extended gameplay here of Blake the Badger, giving FNaF fans a better view of the slight twitching animations that Blake does when you encounter him. And then Kane also released a brand new wallpaper featuring Blake, which goes absolutely hard. Can I get an F in the chat? We are saying goodbye to an official Scott Cawthon FNaF website, because FNAFworld.com is offline. The website is not just blank. There's not just a black image posted on the website like what Scott's done for ScottGames.com. If you look up FNAFworld.com in the browser, you'll just get a default server hosting page. Now, this might be a case where Scott just accidentally forgot to pay some bills. You know, to keep the website going, it does look like he still owns the URL address FNAFworld.com, but the server hosting the page is now offline, which, to be fair, is pretty overdue at this point. The last teasers we saw on FNAFworld.com were back in October of 2019, where Scott was teasing Freddy in Space 2, and also FNAF World just turned 9 years old. And it does seem like Scott has hinted at a possibility of FNAF World 2 in the future, though based on Scott's wording in Dawko's interview, it's certainly a more of if he gets around to it, not exactly when he gets around to it.
I wish I could go back and have one more shot at FNAF World. I really, really do. There were just a lot of bad decisions made at the beginning of that project that doomed it from the start. Like, I was making it with mobile in mind, so it was a really slow resolution. I was thinking about it as a game on the phones. I tried to make the whole game on one frame and click Team Fusion. That just means I wasn't allowing it to be as big as it could have been. I was trying to cram it all together for my own convenience. I was getting a little arrogant, thinking that, hey, anything I make is going to be gold, and I definitely ate some humble pie with that really, really quick. I wish I could maybe work with a different developer and just really make it a high resolution game, get in some really good graphics, maybe get someone else to, help me with those graphics. And it could have been a good game. Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line, if I get really antsy about it and have a lot of free time on my hands, maybe FNaF 2 or FNaF World 2 might be a thing. If I had allowed myself to work on it for one more year, just like really double its development cycle and let it be a high res game, I bet it would have really been something. But like I said, who knows? Maybe for the sequel someday.
So as much as I and a large portion of the FNaF fanbase would love a sequel to FNaF World, it doesn't seem like it's a priority in Scott's mind, so the closing of FNAFWorld.com shouldn't really come as a surprise. Though of course, the website holds a very special place in the hearts of FNaF fans who were around back when it got teasers. And hopefully if Scott does continue FNaF World, maybe we'll see the website come back, but for now, I'd love to know what are your thoughts on the closing of FNAFWorld.com. And now finally, I want to end off this FNAF news video by talking about Escape the Pizzaplex, which is the fourth and final book in the brand new interactive novel series by Scholastic, and it is set to be released on April 1st of this year, and no, that is not an April Fool's joke. Previously, we've had a description for the story that reads, "You are Cassie, a young girl trapped inside Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. Chased by terrifying animatronics as well as the night guards, you've got to do whatever you can to make it out alive. Can you escape, or will it be game over before dawn?" Well, recently we've gotten some brand new info on this interactive novel, including an updated description that now reads, "You are Cassie, and along with your friend Gregory, you love to sneak into Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex after hours. But now that Gregory's been tinkering with the animatronics in the Pizzaplex, things have become much more dangerous. Can you and your friend make it out in one piece, or will it be game over before dawn?" We also found out the most commonly used words and phrases thanks to Google Books. A lot of security breach characters and locations here, which makes a lot of sense because it takes place in the Pizzaplex. But most importantly, in addition to the updated description that now mentions Gregory, we also got an official preview for the novel, and I'll leave a link to the preview in the description if you want to go read it for yourself. But for a very brief synopsis, what we learn in the preview, it follows Cassie and Gregory playing hide and seek in the Pizzaplex after hours, with Glamrock Freddy acting as the seeker, with the entire novel taking place over 5 nights. It's made very clear that Cassie and Gregory hide at the Pizzaplex after hours quite often, as they traverse around the Pizzaplex stealthily yet very calculatedly, with even the book saying, quote, "By now they know what to expect when they're dodging the cleaning bots." In fact, it seems like Cassie and Gregory go to the Pizzaplex so often that Glamrock Freddy already knows Gregory in this novel, as Freddy's green room is the first place that Gregory brings Cassie once the Pizzaplex has closed. As for all the branching paths in the preview, they mostly consist of different spots to hide for hide and seek. Stuff like Roxy's green room, Monty's green room, the reception area, Roxy Raceway, the bathroom, stuff like that. Cassie and Gregory split up to hide, and as Cassie's hiding, she's able to hear Freddy get more aggressive with his searching, overturning arcade machines, sharply demanding that they come out of hiding. And in one of the paths, Freddy catches Cassie hiding an event, where he then aggressively claws at her, pulling her out of the vent by grabbing at her ankles. And then Freddy's chest bursts open to reveal Gregory inside, who then laughs at Cassie's fear. So very clearly, Gregory and Freddy already have a very strong connection here. And speaking of connections, the book calls out very specifically that security at the Pizzaplex has tightened because of Gregory, which a lot of fans have linked to GGY and Gregory as he's described in that story. And the book also references a lot of stuff that we hear and see in the Ruin DLC, like Roxy being Cassie's favorite, her dad being a Fazbear technician, Roxy showing up to Cassie's birthday party when no one else did. And when the book first got revealed and we first got that initial description that didn't mention Gregory, I think a lot of FNaF fans thought that this book was just going to be another retelling of the Ruin DLC. Though now that we have a preview, we know that Gregory's in the book, we know that Gregory and Cassie are really close friends, they go to to the Pizzaplex so often. The Pizzaplex is thriving at this point of the story. A lot of fans are really starting to think that this is going to act as a prequel to Security Breach, setting up what the environment was like around the Pizzaplex back when it was open and thriving. Most importantly, I think giving the backstory of Gregory and Cassie's relationship, their friendship, showing us just how close of friends they are, that Cassie would literally risk her life going to the abandoned Pizzaplex that we see in Ruin to look for Gregory, who's now gone missing. And what we've seen so far with this preview, with this book practically acting as a prequel to Security Breach, it has me super excited. As someone who since the ending of Ruin has really been anticipating more Cassie content, this book is really gonna scratch that itch of wanting more of her character and more of her story, so I cannot wait for it to be released at the start of April. So I'd really love to know what are your thoughts so far on Escape the Pizzaplex. That's gonna do it for this FNaF news video. A bit of a long one, but hopefully you still enjoyed all the topics we had to discuss. Believe it or not, I still have more FNaF news to cover, so expect a few more FNaF videos coming out very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Goodbye.